Good afternoon. Our church has a Bible study pretty much every Thursday morning. There are quite a few people who gather for the study. Most of those people who gather are retired. And the study is led by one of our members. He's a retired minister. Doug is the gentleman's name. And on the days of the study, Doug usually comes in early. He sets up his PowerPoint and his streaming service for those who can't be here in person. Well, Doug was in the classroom today doing just that when I came into the room and went past Doug and greeted him. I did so before the class started, and we exchanged the usual pleasantries like you might. And then he asked me how I was doing in a way that told me that he wanted a real answer rather than the usual fine. Well, I told him I was doing okay and that things were going well, but that I was a little bit tired due to the long days that I've had the past couple of days at work. And he then told me that I didn't seem to have any, quote, spring, unquote, to my step, which was why he asked the question. Well, I jokingly retorted that I haven't had any spring to my step for many years, and I went on my way. However, later on, I thought about our short conversation. Did Doug really spot something in my demeanor that suggested to him that I was perhaps less than fine? Am I really doing okay? And what about that spring in my step that has been apparently missing for some time now? Do I possibly need to work on changing my presentation to others, how I look to others? Well, I really am doing okay today and in days past as well. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and the weekend, but really I'm doing okay today. Oh, I've got the usual aches and pains of older age, but they're minimal today, and in any event, they are manageable if they should flare up. I'm not a normally happy-go-lucky, outgoing, gregarious person by nature, as those of you who know me will know well. And I normally have something on my mind that I'm trying to think through or resolve. And maybe that shows in my demeanor and how I present myself to others. Or maybe I'm just overthinking this. Well, regardless, I received a reminder this morning from Doug that other people do see us in certain ways. And some of those people care enough to ask in a more serious way if all is okay. And I was reminded that my presentation, how I look to others, is important. Do they see someone who is constantly in an apparently beat down, tired, and cranky mood? Or do they see someone who is thankful for the gift of life and the ability to be and do as much as possible? In simpler terms, do I go around with a half-empty glass or a half-full glass? Well, I don't know that I need a spring in my step. I don't know if I've ever really had a spring, but perhaps I do need to show my thankful and grateful heart just a little more. I can be more intentional in greeting others with a smile and a hearty hello. I can walk in a way that doesn't make it seem like I'm carrying a 50-pound burden all the time. I can be more careful in the things that I say, keeping to myself things that may be or appear to be negative. When I do these things, when I smile a little more, walk a little more upright, and be more circumspect as well as encouraging and positive in my speech, I'm not being fake. I'm choosing to present a side of me that is inherent within but doesn't often come out. I'm choosing to make the lives of others a little better for having come into my sphere of influence, and I'm choosing to let goodness and kindness show up in my life. As a Christian, I've been given the most marvelous and unfathomable of gifts, the gifts of freedom, life, and forgiveness. I need to let my body know that, and as a result, reflect the joy of those gifts. Blessings.